Yes, welcome to the No Stay Project live from the Fortified Compound in Mesa, Arizona. Glad to be with you here. Streaming live, of course, on my YouTube channel. Let's see if we can get everything taken care of this so we're not... I took care of all the levels before that. Oh, we're starting off a little bit slow here today, but we got a lot of stuff to get to. It is episode 80. This is the 80th episode of the Wednesday edition, commercial-free, of the No Stay Project. And if you're not subbed, get subbed. I'm going to start doing more live stuff. I'm probably going to do the role-playing. Maybe it's just easier to do a live broadcast. I don't know if I'll necessarily keep the video up of the role-playing sessions, but I'll at least make audio available at markstevens.net. And if you're being attacked by a bureaucrat, you want to learn how to effectively defend yourself, a way that's been proven to do so on more than 3 continents, then go to markstevens.net and check that out. Got templates and scripts, ton of information. All the archives of the shows are up there, articles and do-it-yourself videos. And the last one is 5 tips to be more effective in court. So if you are being attacked by a bureaucrat, check that out. You can join me on the big broadcast today if you... And so the role-playing, if you want to do the role-playing, you have to contact me at Mark. I should have just used my name. Maybe I could change that username now. I don't know if I can do that yet. But anyway, Frank Rizzo 3. Frank Rizzo with the number 3, and then we'll get you in there. I am not going to be doing the role-playing in any of the other No Stay Project Skype chats. So if you don't have Frank Rizzo as a part of it, and you don't hear me moderating like I will be doing tomorrow, most likely at this time at 3 o'clock 3 o'clock Pacific time, then it's not something that I sanction. So you have to take that with some caution that it may not be based on the material that I promote here on the big show. But you should contact me at frankrizzo3 or email me at markstevens@mail.com and let me know that you are interested in participating in that chat. So if we have to, we can't just use Skype. We'll just use the call line because I can, it's a conference call, so I can just unmute everybody and we can do it that way. But then one of the nice things is I get to use the mute button where I can't really do that on Skype, which is really a nice aspect of Discord. So maybe if I get to know Discord a little bit better, that is something that I can do. I want to thank everyone for the continued support of the big show. I really appreciate it, and it's needed to be able to continue doing the broadcast. If you would like to support the show, you can do so at markstevens.net. And I'm hoping to have some audio that I can use. It came in too late to do anything. I didn't get a chance to hear it, but Chris in Texas had a task hearing yesterday. And because of the short notice, I was not able to go out and do that. And they wanted me to do, it was really, really silly that even though I was just going to assist, and you don't need to be a lawyer to assist in administrative proceedings, like with taxes in most places, they wanted me to do fill something out and have it notarized, and I wasn't going to do that. But it was too short a notice, and I was traveling. I just got back to the Mesa last night because I was in San Bernardino again. But I will not be in San Bernardino this weekend. That's every other weekend, so I am going to be live on the 3-hour broadcast over there. So if we don't get to hear from you today, and you don't get to participate in the role playing tomorrow, then the Saturday show. Also, I will keep making this known, and I'll have to post it at markstevens.net. Because of the traveling and the difficulties in traveling and what a pain in the neck it is, every other week, if I'm going to be in California, I will not be doing a live broadcast. So what I'll do is I'll put notification up on markstevens.net that every other weekend we'll be doing a live broadcast here on Friday for 2 hours. 2 straight hours of Anarchy Radio, which will then be broadcast on in place of the live show on LRN.FM, the Liberty Radio Network. So keep that in mind. That's why it helps to be subbed to my YouTube channel so that you know about things like that there. So that's with the role playing. We'll discuss some of the basics of the role playing and why we do it and what we're trying to accomplish by doing that. We want to be more effective in court, so consider that as a matter of, we're sparring. So we're going to take the principles that we know and we're going to spar with others. So we'll see how many people we got. It may just be one person sparring with me, role playing with me, and other people just listening and asking questions, and that's fine too. Let's see. This is for those who want to turn around. Look, there's still going to be people to this day, and I'm typically alt-right Republican types, Trump supporter types, are still going to maintain that there is not a double standard when it comes to police. That police do not have a privilege extended to them. This is more evidence of that their privilege. Well, one, they didn't get a warrant for the police officer's arrest that killed Botham Jean there in Dallas. There's nothing in the news about a warrant to search her house. There's a warrant to search the victim's house. So it's good to be one of the king's men. You see what I'm saying here? And get this. We know that even though it was a murder scene at the very least, it was voluntary manslaughter. Somebody was killed. And this police officer went home that night. She wasn't arrested. There was a warrant for arrest, and she was able to come in a few days later. She spent a few hours and was bonded out. What's the big deal there? Oh, because you and you could be certain that if there's somebody dead, whether you did it or not, if you're looking looking like you're the main suspect over there, you're not going home. You are going to jail. And you are not getting a ward. You are getting bailed. That's it. End of discussion. And it probably should be that way when you're talking about, someone dying. But there was some protest on Sunday. There was a protest about these police and the double standards. And so the Star-Telegram saying that a procession marched down Randall Mill Road to one of the entrances for the Dallas Cowboys game. Among the protesters was the family of Botham Jean, the victim, the one who was killed in his apartment by a police officer, said she was in the wrong apartment. Amber Geiger. She said she mistook Jean's apartment for her own. Yeah, that makes sense. Just like jurisdiction's a trial issue, only, she mistook. Yeah, she just, it's simple. Yeah, what are they going to do next? Are they just going to say she's a kid? She's just a kid. It's locker room talk. She's just a kid, just a 29-year-old kid. But during the protest, 9 people arrested for blocking traffic at the intersection of Collins and Randall Mill. They were arrested for blocking traffic. Arrested on the spot for blocking traffic. A cop killed somebody in his own apartment. She went home. But protesters locked them up. Locked them up. Did they do a few hours in jail before getting bailed out? No. It's a big no. Big no. They spent over a day. It says here that they spent 40 hours. 40 hours in the Tarrant County Jail. 40 hours, more than a day, for blocking traffic. And yet, if you're a police officer, even if you're stupid enough to commit your murders off the clock, go home. You come back with a warrant, you spend a couple of hours there. When they take your picture, they cover the jumpsuit up with a white towel so that it doesn't look as bad. Yeah, $100 bail. For traffic obstruction, for killing an innocent man in his own apartment. Yeah. Way to go, Dallas. Way to go. That's teaching them. Hey, sickening. We got a new caller. Area code 662. You're live on the big show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mark?
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man, Jason from Mississippi. Such an honor to finally get you on the phone, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. What was your name? I missed it.
Oh, Jason from Mississippi.
Do you know that of all the 50 states, I've done almost no business. I've had maybe a handful of people that I've worked with in Mississippi in 20 years.
Well, you've just reaffirmed what I've thought all along. You're a very smart man. There's nothing good down. Well, there is some good stuff down here.
Oh!
It's few and far between, my friend.
Oh my! Well,
but yeah, man. Look, long-time listener, big-time fan. I don't really. I have tons of questions about law stuff, but I won't get into it.
That's what we're here to do. We'll cover as much as we can.
Well, I just wanted to let you know I really appreciate what you do. I don't know. I've just been on this whole adventure, man, and you've been part of it. You've been part of the elements that kind of brought me into a better way of thinking about things. Socrates and so forth, and
Well, I'm glad I was able to do that, but you.
I'm sorry.
Wait! You give me an opportunity to make a comment, and that somebody years ago was doing an interview with John Lee Hooker, and if anybody doesn't know who John Lee Hooker is, just do yourself a favor, look up John Lee Hooker. If you don't know who John Lee Hooker is, nice. Well, John Lee Hooker was asked in an interview why he thought the blues was born in the Mississippi area, the Mississippi Delta. And he said, man, because it's the worst place in the world. The blues had to come out of Mississippi.
As George Clinton said, I'm from Mississippi, far from Mississippi, kind of the same thing. Listen, I just wanted to ask something real quick, and I'm sure you know about this. I'm not laying anything new on you, but I just wanted to, part of what helped me come to a lot of understanding, not just in the area of law. I've had run-ins since I was a youngster. I'm in my 40s now, or whatever. I've actually stood in front of judges, not knowing what I was saying, right, and defended myself with some accuracy. I've had judges apologize to me for wasting my time, and I had no idea, how your words could either bury you or set you free, I was just oblivious to all this. That's when I first discovered the law library, and I actually had to go flip through pages of books and not have the luxury of, Googling, But, one of the things, the Trivium, what's your view on the Trivium?
Well, I've written about that. So I've written about it in Government Indicted, and I've talked about it. I like the basic, principle there of applying, logic and asking questions. Sure.
I've really, been, brought up to speed, just with the basic mathematics of things and all that kind of thing. I didn't know, because I listen to your show all the time. I am going to be listening to Government Indicted. I'm about to go across country. So that was going to be one of my main listening, books for my drive there. But, I'd never heard you really speak about the Trivium and the benefits of it, it's just little things that can open up these huge ideas,
Well, I may not have mentioned the actual term lately, but I mean, I've talked about the basic principles of logic, and what we're trying to find out is, you've got your, how does it go? Your rhetoric, your,
your grammar, rhetoric.
Rhetoric.
No, I'm sorry. Grammar, logic, and rhetoric.
Yeah, grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And so even though I'm not necessarily, using those terms each time, I mean, I'm talking about when we're trying to break down somebody's or learn, why somebody believes what they do, we got to find out the what. Find out what is the claim. And so that would be that consider that the grammar part. This is the claim that they're saying is true. And then consider the logic part when we're starting to ask questions regarding why they believe that's true and looking at their sources. Why is this true? And then, of course, the rhetoric part is having them explain how that works.
Right. Exactly. But what blew my mind about it, I'd never heard that word until I was like 39. And it was a total accident the way I came across it. I'd bought a Masonic dictionary or encyclopedia rather, just on, so I would play more terms of like color and shapes and stuff. And then when I was exposed to theory, it was taught to me out of order. It was very confusing, and
okay.
Definitely since, discovering the Trivium and the Socratic stuff and just, really breaking stuff down, putting it in a microscope, it's just like, boom, opened my whole world up. And when it comes to law, though, just, learning what real law is, as opposed to all the statutes and codes and violations and stuff that people get so wrapped up in, like what they say, that the principles are many. I mean, the principles are few, but the techniques are many, There's all these different ways to come to, and we're all just trying to protect ourselves is the thing, And I don't know, man. I could just go on and on with you, but I just want to say thank you, and I'm so happy that you do what you do.
Well, I appreciate that, and I apologize to everybody on the feed. I just figured out what the problem was with the audio. So what I'm going to have to do now. Did you have any other questions, Jason?
No, just well wishes for you and all your listeners, and to your deniers. Guys, lift your head up just a little bit and listen to what this man's saying. He has no ill intent for you. He's trying to keep us all out of the cabbage. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay on the road.
I appreciate that. We're going to go to Tommy Boy. Yeah, Doug, just hold on. Type in what your area code is, and I'll get you after Tommy Boy. Tom, welcome back to the big show.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Your typical glitches.
Well, can everybody hear Tom? Somebody do the chat there and let me know if you can hear Tom. Tom, take it away.
All right. Hey, like I said, it's typical to hear some glitches on a Mark Stevens show, so kind of not a problem.
Well, what actually happened was when I wasn't thinking, I was running late. I wound up using this damn I used Chrome to do the show. That's my brother. Instead of using Firefox, Firefox automatically has my good microphone on default, but Chrome doesn't. So I did my test with the microphone, but when I went to actually do the show, I did not actually put in that the microphone was going to be my good mic, and it was the microphone from the webcam, and that doesn't work that was the problem. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, trust me, I work with computers all day long, and they can really piss you off. So, anyway, what I called in about was your role play sessions, and I haven't heard one yet, but I have heard there are some problems that I can logically see that when people get into this, there's a lot of pre-prep work to do before you can actually have a role play with someone. It's kind of pointless if they don't understand Spoonerism. I hate to use that phrase, but Spooner and Socratic and understand logic.
But Tom, why use Spoonerism? Because there's a few people that use that as a damn insult for some reason.
I know. That's why I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I like Spooner. Big time.
Yeah, I think he's great. But it's used as a slur against me and people like and those who listen to this. It's a slur. It's like we're too stupid to do anything but regurgitate what Spooner wrote, which is kind of ironic because one of the people who uses that as a slur actually just regurgitates the same stuff that she hears from somebody else.
Yeah, well, all right, whatever. I didn't mean it as an insult. I meant it as that these people need to learn all this stuff and need to learn the logic and need to like the Gary 101 before they are even ready for a role play. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time.
Well,
Has that been happening? I guess that's my question. Has that been happening, or are you having some successful role plays? Because I have heard that it's not.
Well, you know,
So
I haven't. The last role play that I participated in was an absolute train wreck. But they tell me that the guys that we were working with has made a lot of progress, and it was just a matter of, you know, we tried to get through a certain scenario in court 3 times, and all 3 times she just completely dropped the ball and went 180 in the other direction. So I understand the frustration. I do get that people do have to know the basic principles of why we're doing this and why it's been so successful. It's I do see benefit in people doing the role play, at least as far as listening in and asking questions. And I think it's also good to gauge where somebody is. So if somebody is cocky or thinks that they're doing better than they really are, right?
Yeah.
Then
That's
a few
good
minutes
idea.
role playing will bring out where they actually stand as far as, you know, how effective and how good they are at defending themselves.
Right. Well, yep. Is there any? Do you have any recordings of the role plays you've done so far, or?
Well, I did one. Yeah, I did it as after the show a number of months ago, and it was at least an hour long. And it was a live stream, so the whole stream is up there.
Oh, so it's on your video. It's one of your in your video list or something? Because I've been waiting to hear one. I've been asking everybody, and nobody's telling me anything. They're telling me they're train wrecks, so I'm just curious. I want to hear what the problem is.
Well, I don't think you're going to hear a lot of the problems in that call. You know, it's about an hour long, and we got into really good discussion about court procedure. So that's not so you're trying to gauge what the problems are. You're not going to get it from that particular recording.
Okay.
Some of the problem is...
Like I said, I just wanted to touch base that I found after doing this for quite a while, that just jumping into a role play is usually a big waste of time until you get a good Gary 101 or a Spooner or you got to get a lot of logic and understanding before you can even bother to attempt this. Because you get your ass handed to you. You know, that people jump back into their stupid sovereign stuff and pop off things to the judge that have nothing to do with what we're talking about because they don't get the concept.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And the thing is, taking someone through the Socratic method can be a bit uncomfortable. You know, if you're not on top of your game and you don't know your subject really well, having somebody just ask you pointed questions and, you know, good leading questions to determine whether you really can support your positions or not. Man, if you're not on top of your game, but that's not going to be fun. So I think there's value in that though, Tom, because people need to know where they stand. If you cannot, that's why I said this takes work. You can't expect that if you're going to have trouble with me or you or Joe or Gary, if you've got trouble with us, you're going to have your ass handed to you in court. Yep. There's no two ways about it. These people are, look, judges and prosecutors, even though there's 95% of cases or complaints end up in a plea deal anyway, the fact is these people are in court every day and they are good litigators. There are better litigators and there's some that are not so good. But these people, as far as their craft, are usually pretty, look, they're much better than the average person who's not there. We got to give them that. So yeah, you got to prepare. You got to take it serious and you got to know the basics.
Yep. All right. Well, if you do put out some recordings, then they will be on your YouTube channel and maybe called role play or something. Then I'll be looking for them. I want to hear some of these. I do role plays. I pride myself in being a pretty good judge and helping somebody see clearly what's going on. And I'd like to hear I've never heard you do one, so I'd like to hear a few of them.
Well, I've done them on the show, but maybe
yeah, little bits and pieces. Yeah, I know that. And that's what I tell everybody. Everybody says you don't do role plays, and I says, well, he kind of does on the show once in a while, but not really in-depth role plays like what we have. But anyway, enough of wasting your time. I was just wanting to know where I can get these recordings, and I want to hear them.
All right, we'll go back into the show. It's definitely during the summertime, so you got to go back a few, but not that many. And tomorrow I'll just do it like I do here, same time, same channel, and I'll just do a role play right here.
Okay, cool.
That'll be available.
I'll be around.
All right,
Mark.
appreciate the call, Tom. Yeah, appreciate it. Tom in the Big D. And it looks like we've got Doug. And it looks like he's got something really, really important to relate to us. So you're on the big show there, Doug.
Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Let me keep it concise. So I had a road pirate pull me over for allegedly making an illegal left on a red light in American Canyon, California, which is in Napa County Superior Court District. Long story short, I was very polite with the officer. I didn't, contest anything. I signed I shouldn't have, but I signed the affidavit or whatever to appear in court. I appeared in front of my arraignment judge, Judge Ortiz, Napa County Superior Court, and I had a few pre-trial motions. I actually have studied your broadcast for quite a bit, and I made a few pre-trial motions, and I was literally told to sit down, shut the bleep up, or I would be removed from the courtroom. So I was.
Well, hold on, Doug, hold on. All right. We still have a good amount of time over here, so let's. California. I'm glad I'm back in Mesa. I spent 4 days in California. I love coming home. Oh, I got to tell you, it's so nice when I pass over that Colorado River. Love it. So, one thing I got to point out here is when you sign the ticket. It's under threat, duress, and coercion. They'll arrest you if you don't, most likely. And it's not an affidavit. And it's not an affidavit. It's just a promise.
Sure, it's not an admission of guilt, I should have said. It's a promise to appear for a courtroom trial or whatever.
Yeah. Now, did this Judge Ortiz, did he actually tell you to shut the F up? Or are you just adding the F?
It's actually a she, and she did tell me to shut the bleep up or I would be removed. When I tried to make my pretrial motions, I tried to make a motion of jurisdiction because it's not the same court, this, that, and the other, but I'm really getting to the good part. So
wait, I understand that, and I appreciate that, but you're telling me that a judge used the F word in court?
On tape, and I subpoenaed it using a FOIA, and I spent $80. I had a material, not a material, I don't know what the terminology is, I'm not a lawyer, but I had two subpoenas. One was for the body cam for the police officer, the other was for the camera for the footage in the court. Now, I was given a continuance, not by her, but we'll fast forward a little bit because it gets really interesting here in a second.
Okay. It's interesting so far.
She answered a plea of not guilty, and I told her quite literally, word for word, I said, Your Honor, is that not practicing law from the bench? I don't believe you're allowed to do that. I don't understand the charges that are being laid against me. I don't understand the penalties. I would like it further explained. And that's when she expletitived me in the courtroom, and she told me to sit down, shut the bleep up, or you will be removed from the courtroom. So I didn't say anything, and I took the court document for my actual trial, because I did take it to traffic court, and I had Officer Mustard, you can't make this stuff up, from American Canyon. I was originally supposed to show up in front of Commissioner Scott, and the trial was set and everything was set, and literally 2 minutes before the trial began, you cannot make this up, it's on record, I have all the documents, we were, and when I mean we, I mean the entire floor of people that had traffic trial court that day were told to go from the second floor of the Napa courtroom to the third floor of the Napa courtroom. So from basically Department H to Department J. I was supposed to be tried by Commissioner Scott And I had actually showed up early, and he was quite a lenient judge. I saw him hand out sentences and what have you to, petty theft, people like that, and he was very lenient. And literally, and I kid you not, literally 2 minutes before the trial was to begin, it was reassigned to Judge Ortiz, my original arraignment judge. And I just want to add one thing in here, and I do have video camera to prove it. I can upload it. I can give it to you however you want. The officer that pulled me over, the motorcycle officer, breezed by me 5 minutes before court began, because I'm a cigarette smoker and I went outside right before the trial was to begin. He breezed by me without emergency lights and parked not in the handicap section, not anywhere in a parking lot. He parked on the sidewalk, the handicapped sidewalk going up to the Napa court. And I have that on tape. I actually uploaded it to my Facebook channel. I digress. That was 5 minutes before court. 2 minutes before court, I was moved to Judge Ortiz's courtroom. And wouldn't you know it, there was 30-some people there. I was the very first person to be called to testify, basically, or to do my court thing. I had asked for discovery on the body cam. I had not gotten it. They refused it. They gave me the runaround, and then I finally saw it. And the body cam that would have exonerated me from the traffic ticket, well, they had all of it, don't you know? They had all of it, with the sole exception of me running the red light. They had everything from the him lighting me up to the half-an-hour conversation we had. Okay. And after I had witnesses to call, she denied every one. She objected to every one of my motions. She overruled on everything. Every question I had for the officer, she basically said, no, we're not going to have that. You don't have to answer, yada, yada, yada.
All right, Doug, let's go through this.
Long story short, at the end of it, she said, we're giving credibility to the officer because you don't have any credibility. Even though I don't have any criminal record, and I've not had any traffic violations in literally over a decade. I'm a spotlessly clean citizen. And I have all this on tape.
I would disagree with you on...
I'm just a little hot over this because it's $1,000, and now I have to pay it off in chunks of $50 a month.
Well, when did this happen?
The incident or the courtroom trial? The incident was literally 3 or 4 months ago. I was denied due process because the police officer was allowed continuances. I wasn't. I asked for one, but I wasn't granted it.
Okay.
The police officer continued and continued and continued. So this literally happened, I would say, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so you still have time to file a notice. Well, actually, you don't. The time is told you can't.
She told me that she would not allow any appeals, and she said that if I wanted to appeal, I had to have the entire amount of the fine, which was $500 and some odd, and I'd have to have it by the end of courtroom that day. By the time I got to the first floor, I had 8 minutes to get from her room to the first floor, and by the time I got there, they were closed.
Okay, well, let's try to make some sense of all this that is going on here. You had witnesses that you had under subpoena to appear. Is that how you were getting your witnesses in?
Yes, I paid $40 per subpoena to have them delivered, and she would not let any of my witnesses be called.
What was the grounds, if any, she gave to not allow the witnesses?
I deny it.
She gave you no reason why you weren't allowed witnesses?
Nope, and I objected every time, and I was very polite, and I came dressed in a suit and tie and everything. So, I wasn't dressed like a scrub.
Were you able to...
I came dressed very respectfully.
Now, did you let the prosecution know you were calling witnesses, and did they have personal knowledge? I mean, were they actually there?
Yes, okay. And she denied every witness. I had 2 witnesses in the galley, if you will, and they were both under subpoena, and both were denied to be called.
So after the prosecution rests, you call your first witness, and the judge, not the prosecutor,
denied
the judge says
she said it was irrelevant to the case.
So eyewitnesses to to the incident in question that the cop just testified to, eyewitnesses to that were deemed irrelevant.
One eyewitness, one character witness. That's correct. And like I said, the body cam footage, I objected that I had not had discovery because I'd never seen it before, and I FOIA'd and subpoenaed it, and I paid a lot of money to do so. The first time I saw the body cam footage was in court. It showed everything except for me running the red light.
Did you question the police officer on cross-examination regarding the missing video?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And most of my questions were overruled, or the judge, she told the officer Mustard to, you don't need to answer that. And furthermore, might I add, she has a record of being biased towards women. Like, she's one of those. She's a psychopath in a robe, and she's biased towards women. And the clerk of courts literally told me, from Napa Superior County Court, they told me never in the history has it been heard that they changed a judge at a 2-minute notice. I was supposed to see Commissioner Young, and I had sat there for 3 hours previously watching, his cases and how he ruled to see how I would present myself in front of him. And literally 2 minutes before the trial, it was moved to her floor, and I was the very first person called. And I even brought it up in traffic court. I said, Your Honor, the last time I tried to present motions, you told me to sit down or shut the bleep up. And she said, I never said that, but if you continue that language, I'm going to hold you in contempt and you'll be serving 30 to 90 days in community jail.
All right,
and I'm FOIAing the records on this right now.
Well, I don't know if FOIA is the right way to go about that. Did you file a motion to disqualify the judge for her bullying and obvious bias? And she's completely
That's the one thing I did not do, unfortunately.
Well,
I wish I would have, but I had 2 minutes notice, and I made an objection that she was standing in front of my trial, and she said there's no conflict of interest here, and all this is on tape. I just have to get the tape, and I have to pay the county of Napa to get it, because American Canyon, where I was allegedly pulled over, is a commissionary, or it's a paid for district. In other words, they don't even have their own court, so they send it to Napa court for anything, for traffic all the way up to domestic abuse. They send it to Napa.
I've had some experience with the Napa court before. The judges and prosecutors are as bad as any place we've seen. When you said you challenged jurisdiction, how did you do that? Did you do that with my motion to dismiss, or what was the basis of it?
I did a written motion, and I did several verbal motions. My written motions were dismissed before my case was even brought.
What was the subject? What was the context? What was the actual argument that you were using?
I motioned to dismiss based on validation of jurisdiction. I motioned to dismiss based on there is no evidence here, that they have the body cam footage. Like, basically, there is no evidence. And I also motioned that I have witnesses, whereas there is one witness, which was the police officer, Officer Mustard. And I'm not a lawyer, so, I only had 2.5 months to prepare for this. And every time my court date came up, they kept on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And when I asked for one continuance, she wouldn't give it to me.
You should have had the cop ask. You should have asked the cop to ask for it. What do you mean give me a little more detail about this motion to dismiss, that you were looking for a validation of jurisdiction. Give me a little more detail so I can understand what you were trying to, what your argument is.
My motion to dismiss on jurisdiction was that she had none. That the Napa Superior Court had no jurisdiction because I'm a dual state resident. I live in Ohio and California, and I have Ohio plates, and there was jurisdictional issues. And when I brought it up initially during arraignment, I was told to sit down, shut the bleep up, or I would be taken out. and she said that almost the exact same thing, but then she threatened me with prison. And this is all on videotape, and I'm subpoenaing the actual tape. My subpoena is to get the body cam before the traffic court was denied.
Okay.
Because I was basically given the runaround. I had to do a FOIA, and one time I asked for a continuance saying I did not have my discovery. Basically, the first time I saw the body cam footage was when I was in court, and it showed everything except for me actually running the red light.
Okay, well, that's obviously, a destruction of evidence and obstruction. You've got a number, at least a couple of misdemeanors, maybe a felony there. But what you're putting out as far as the dual state residence, one, I would never claim to be a resident, and I can see why she just denied. You made an argument of pure legal issue of law there, and she disagreed with you. You have to attack the prosecution's claim that the court has jurisdiction. It's between you and the prosecutor. The judge is just supposed to ensure that the prosecution has met their burden, which you weren't.
She wouldn't even allow it. I tried it on my arraignment hearing, and I specifically asked for an arraignment hearing so I could have pretrial motions. And I said on state law of California that I'm allowed to make motions at any time. And that's when she told me to sit down, shut the bleep up, or I would be removed from court.
Well,
so under duress, I shut up.
Right. What I would do is I would file for post-conviction relief, and if that's denied, you should still have time to do that. That's usually, between 30 and 90 days. And then if they deny post-conviction relief...
This was less than a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. What's it called? Post-eviction?
Post-conviction relief.
Post-conviction relief.
I have a template, that you can get from me. Just email me, markstevens@mail.com, or Skype me at frankrizzo3, and I get you a copy of that. If that's denied, then you can appeal the decision for on that, and hopefully get that reviewed. A judge telling you, I imagine there's going to be a couple of trolls that are going to say, Mark doesn't know what he's talking about. It's perfectly legitimate and professional for judges to use swear words and tell people to sit the F down. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He never goes to court. He's not... But that's pretty unprofessional behavior. I would bring that to the attention of the county commissioners, and I would certainly get...
This woman had it in for me. There's no reason that I should have been moved from Commissioner Scott Young's courtroom 2 minutes before trial. Like, it was literally on the paperwork after several continuances on the cop's behalf, and I was there 3 hours early, and the cop brazenly comes up and parks on the darn sidewalk, and I have that literally on videotape.
Okay,
it's on my Facebook page.
Okay, but I'm running out of time here, and I got some other calls to get to. I would certainly file a complaint against the county's risk management.
How do I get a hold of you directly? Because I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel, and I know that you have a website, but yeah, I'd love to email you to get more information on how to handle this, because I'm hot and mad. This is $500,000, and I already paid the first $50 on it.
I understand
if that was the best idea to do, but.
All my contact information is on markstevens.net. You can contact me at frankrizzo3 from there, and my email address. It's very, very easy to contact me. And I'm also on Facebook, and Instagram. I'm the Frank Rizzo on Instagram, so it's very easy. So get with me off air, and I'll get you that template, and maybe Saturday we can address a few more questions.
I'll tell you what,
right? But I got it, but you've already. I understand. I gotta get to some other calls because you already mentioned that. So, and I can't go over the time limit today because I have appointments after the show. But definitely
I understand.
Get with me. It's markstevens.net, and you can contact me off the website. Okay.
I'm gonna do that within the next 48 hours. Right. I really appreciate your time, Mark, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
Right, thanks. Appreciate the call. I'm going to do my best here. We've got area code 239. You're live on the No Stay Project. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is this Chester?
This is your
hey, Mark, what's happening?
And what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chester Allen from Naples, Florida. I just beat my case using some of your tactics.
and I'm working on another guy's case. It's actually really easy from more of a game theory standpoint. Like you see, I've been typing. Like contempt, a judge can't be a witness or a victim, so he can never claim contempt. So I run my jibs in court all day long.
Wait, you're saying the judge can't hold you in contempt because the judge can't be a victim?
Yes, the federal rules of evidence, which everybody's ignorant of.
Not everybody.
Says the judge, says that the judge may not be a witness and may not be a victim. But no one calls him on that. So you just say, let the record reflect, or you can ask him right there on record, are you making yourself a victim or a witness right now against me? You have to put it on the record. Everything's being recorded. It's like a little theater.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not the victim in the case by holding.
No. What he's okay. Now let me ask you. If he says you're in contempt and what it is either you're disrupting their hearing or what else could it be? Because he's still witnessing you committing a crime, which is contempt. And then if you're really truly disrupting a case, he will still have to sit on the victim's bench.
He's not claiming to be
he's witnessing a crime. And
wait, I think you're totally misunderstanding. I think
you're right now, Judge.
I think you're totally misunderstanding what that rule is.
I smash him with it, Mark. I'm not lying to you. I go in there and smash him with it. He can't do anything. He cannot be a witness. If a judge is a witness, then how can he adjudicate against you? No, he's partial.
He can't. Wait, Chester, I'm running out of time here. All right, so bear with me. The judge.
Federal rules of evidence and criminal rules.
Rule 605. Yeah, the presiding judge may not testify as a witness at the trial. A party need not object to preserve the issue. Now, I have seen where judges do testify against people by insisting that so-and-so is a citizen or so-and-so is a resident. And it's not even a part of the record. It's clearly outside the pleadings. The prosecution has not said person A is a citizen or resident. It's strictly on. So there, where the judge
That's
is
irrelevant.
Wait, no, you got to let me finish. So
the judge is making that claim, not any other officer of the court. And you put it on the record, Judge. Are you witnessing right now?
That's not what that rule says, though. The rule is saying he can't. Let me finish. You keep talking over me, Chester. The rule is saying that if, let's say, for example, the IRS brings a petition to enforce an IRS summons, the judge may not be if the judge is a witness to what happened, he may not sit on that case. It's pretty straightforward. Now, are you saying you've actually had success in federal court?
Yes.
I don't believe it. You're going to have to show me some documentation to prove that.
Not in federal court, in district court, you can use it all the time.
Show me.
The rules are the same for both state and federal.
So, like Arizona did adapt.
How can the judge?
Wait, yeah, I got to put the federal rules of evidence were adopted, and some of the federal rules of civil procedure were adopted by states such as Arizona. So the numbers in the text is the same. That's not the case in California. California did not adopt the federal rules. So they're very similar. Some of them are almost identical, but they did not adopt them. So you're telling me that, and I've got some other calls I got to. You're going to have to get me some documentary proof.
I got a videotape. I got it completely videotaped. They threatened me with contempt. They roughed me up, dragged me away from the public record, and I yelled out, "The federal rules of every grand judge may not be witnesses."
I don't even know what that's supposed. But you're gonna have to get me proof of this. I'll watch the video. But it absolutely, under no circumstances, could be one of these things where someone just yells, "The judge has abandoned ship, case dismissed." That is not evidence that this has worked.
Learning treatment, evidence, or witness testimony, or it's considered an opinion.
What rule was that?
That is, I think that's the criminal rules of evidence also. The judge's ruling has to be based on a learned treatise, evidence at a lower level, or witness testimony, or it's just an opinion.
Yeah, I get that. I get that they substitute their own opinion.
So every time a judge goes, "You're doing this," they're like, "What's the basis for your ruling, Judge?" and just bam him every time like a computer. Bam.
Yeah, and
they go, shut up, go. Are you not denying me offense? Just my defense, Judge.
And they don't really care. I'm going to try to get another call there, Chester. Right. So send me the video. And,
it works.
And I'll
works,
take.
Boss, I'm telling you.
Okay, send me the video and I'll take a look at it. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good.
You got to allow an exchange of ideas here. I can't get like that lawyer did and just talk over me and not allow me to get a sentence out. So I got a few minutes. We're gonna do what I can. I can't go too far over today. Area code 805. You're on the No Stay Project. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Eric. I'm calling from Thousand Oaks, California.
All right, another California. What can I do for you today?
Well, I got pulled over today for unsafe speed and claimed that he got me with a radar. And I basically want to know what I can do. What are the steps to fight a ticket like this? Can I challenge the evidence that you have?
Well, you can challenge the evidence, and you can challenge the actual claims that are being made against you. So, if the police officer, I like to look at the foundation of their claims and see if I can punch a hole in that. They're claiming and it's always the same thing. They're claiming that because you were physically in California, that their laws apply and there was jurisdiction and probable cause to investigate that a crime may have been committed. And then he determined that the laws apply and you violated them and he wrote you a ticket. I like to challenge that because there's no evidence to prove that that's true. So in California, I think it's 1004 of the criminal code, and I have this in my demur. I have a demur crossed over for California. One of the bases of a demur, which is basically a motion to dismiss, is you're attacking the legal sufficiency of the complaint, that it's not legally sufficient. So one of the parts of the demur statute is that if the facts as alleged do not constitute an offense, and here I don't believe that if they have no facts to show that the code applies, then the fact that they're accusing you of that is not sufficient factually to lay out a valid offense. So the essential facts are not there, and because they're not there, then there's no reason to enter a plea or anything like that. You demur to the complaint, and the judge, if he does the right thing, will look at the complaint and say, "Oh, they did just assume there is no evidence to show the foundation of the claim. So because there's insufficient facts here, we have to sustain the demur." So,
okay.
In a nutshell, that's I'm going to be doing more time. Doing role play and discussing more core procedure tomorrow. So, but if you go back into the older shows that I've done, we talk about core procedure every time. And also Government Data has a full model on how to effectively defend yourself that people have replicated for the last 5 years. So that helps get you going too. And I would suggest learning the basics. You want to challenge the claims that are being made against you. It's always fine to go after the evidence, but it's better, I think, to look at their claims and see if there's any evidence to support that. So jurisdiction is what they call a threshold issue. If there's no evidence of jurisdiction, then what they're accusing you of is irrelevant. So that's why I focus on that. This has been episode 80 of the No Stay Project here on my YouTube channel. Just a minor glitch that will not come out. I will be pulling the live videos down. I will post good video and the really good audio tomorrow. So keep your accusations to yourself that I'm afraid of critical comments of the show. Just copy and paste them into the new video if you need to do that. Just know in advance that's what I do. And since I had that glitch today, it makes sense to pull down the live streams. Hey, and then we get much better video and audio out of it there. But if you are being attacked by a bureaucrat, I will be, or just want to learn how to argue better, or you think I'm full of crap, you think there is evidence proving that these laws apply, you think that you can make an ethical or moral argument for government, actually prove that there's states and governments, give us a call. We'll be here same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific time, and Saturday, as always, 1 to 4 Pacific time on LRN.FM. And hey, until then, salud.